Hey everybody, I'm Alex Berlin with Rochester Homes, and I wanted to make a short video to talk about what's going on in the latter half of 2020 in a year of pandemic and housing supply shortage and interest rate markets that are incredible. And I kind of want to tie all those things together because what we've got is increased lead times, flat out. It's taking us longer to deliver our product here in the latter half of 2020 than we have ever experienced before. And I want to talk about why, okay? And I stand here in our floors department, and in a land of increasing commodity costs, the man with 2 stacks of OSB is king. And I say that because the first thing that happened when we realized that we were in a global pandemic is everybody freaked out, including us, okay? We are a manufacturer. I like to say that we mix the art of housing with the science of manufacturing. That's one of my favorite things to say about what modular construction is. We don't build manufactured homes. We are a manufacturer of homes, and we build our IRC code homes in pieces and ship them to your job site. And we use a lot of the science of manufacturing. Our technology is all about repeatable processes, tables, jigs, fixtures that guide our production team, that have tolerances of quality. We have all of our tools at the ready when we clock in, and we take all that efficiency and we bundle it up, build you a nice box, and we ship it to your job site, and we put it together with all the other boxes we built for you, and we have a quality product on your job that is then appraised, treated as real estate. It's a home. That's all there is to it, okay? So what happened to us manufacturers when COVID struck is we were told, go home, stop working. Well, that's an immediate stop in our ability to produce revenue, and our builder network, who relies on us for their business to run, for their home sales to happen, they were also told to go home. And so not only could we not produce revenue, but we were seeing our pipeline forecast go to nil. Okay, so we planned to reduce our overheads as much as we can with material, with labor, obviously. Because of the housing shortage that we're in currently and the rate environment that we're in currently, little known to us, retail customers like yourselves potentially watching this didn't really let COVID slow them down to the rate that we thought that it would. So we went home, sales team all sat their heads down and said, I'm not gonna get you sales for a while, my pipeline's terrible. And then we were allowed to come back to work. We were able to make our factories a safe place to work, social distance. We're able to get back in here and swing a hammer again. And then when that happened, our pipeline went through the roof. Customers came back, they worked in different ways than they've ever worked before, and they Zoom called their builders. We utilized our virtual tour content that we have on our website, and we were able to get people to see our product still virtually, and people were accepting of that, and they were still buying homes. So we didn't think the industry was ready for it, but it was. Life will find a way, maybe Dr. Malcolm would say, for lack of a better nerdy term for you. But we were able to get a much, much better pipeline. Okay, so, however, manufacturers, again, had forecasted bad. Shutdowns of factories, appliances is one of the biggest ones that forecasted really, really bad numbers for the rest of the year. Well, while everybody was home, you had everyone go out and start buying all the same materials that we use to build your new home, but they were using it to remodel their home at unprecedented rates. Okay, so we've got a new kind of revenue stream that was using up all these products that we normally use up. Let's say, and I'm throwing random numbers out here, let's say the remodel market is typically 50% of the market, the new home build market is typically 50% of the people buying this OSB commodity behind me. All of a sudden, the remodel market took a vast majority of that while we were pipeline forecasting that things were going to go down, so our production rates were going down, And then the new builders came back on and said, hey, give me my normal percent. And they said, oh, geez, no, we shut down our production lines. We don't have that much. And what's out there currently is being bought by the remodel people. Okay, so then as you try to get people back online, it took a while. It took a while to get factories ready. It took a while to get people back to work. So you have a really, really long lead time for the products that we use, for appliances, for simple commodity products like OSB and dimensional lumber. Everything got pushed out, way out. And along with that, we also saw a really big spike in price. As with demand, up goes price, and all of a sudden, we're skyrocketing up in what we're paying for materials. And of course, we have to pass that along to our builders. Our builders have to pass that along to our retail customers. And so you see the end user price of a home goes way up. And I think the NHB came out with a report and said that, you know, a 2,000 square foot home, I'm sorry, it was something more like a 1,500 square foot home has gone up in price around an average of $18,000. And we were like, whoa, I mean, obviously we're seeing it in the materials. We know why it's gone up, but there's no way people are gonna keep buying homes from us. So here we sat trying to forecast again what was gonna happen. But I'm gonna park that. So that was, you know, that was COVID, reaction to COVID, shutdowns, then reopenings, material supply forecasts were bad, material needs were actually really good. There's your price hike right there. Okay, so let's park that topic for a second. What else is going on in the US right now? A big housing shortage. Reach out to the people who are involved with your, you know, local economic development corporations, you know, the people who run your cities and your towns, and ask them what kind of housing studies are going on right now. And I can almost bet you that if you haven't recently, if you're not in a town that hasn't recently finished some kind of housing shortage study, then you're in a town that's about to finish one. They're popping up all over the place. My small town of Rochester here just participated in a housing study that was done by Indiana University students. It's going on all over the place. And what we're finding is that even small towns right now, we just don't have the housing supply that we need to take care of the people that live in our communities, let alone, for the first time in my lifetime, we're starting to see deurbanization. People are moving out of cities and into small rural towns, which is a big market for modular construction specifically, because it's very, very easy to operate cranes and big trucks moving into the job site, and we do a lot of rural projects that way. Also, there's not as many rural site builders left out there anymore. Not a lot of new young blood coming into that construction area. So we do a lot of business out in rural areas. So all of a sudden we're seeing more customers come back into our marketplace. Deurbanization is going on. So not only do we have a housing crisis that the NHB has been talking about, that Ben Carson, the HUD Secretary, has been talking about for a year, maybe two, maybe a little bit longer. We've been forecasting this problem coming up. There's studies going on all over the place. And now we're starting to see deurbanization on top of that, okay? So we've got COVID, material price increases, but we've got a housing shortage, a very real housing shortage, and we've got people who know that they can work off-site successfully who are saying, man, I really want to be in a home where I've got a little bit more space to work, maybe a little bit more space for the kids to run around and, you know, do homeschooling potentially if this is the world that we're gonna live in. I want a better place. And so they're knocking on the door of your local home builder. Okay, and then the third thing that we've got going on is an incredible rate market. Incredible rate market. Okay, so we just ran numbers through, you know, a mortgage calculator online, Google mortgage calculator, find whatever one you want. Just for the sake of discussion here today, we plugged in a $200,000 mortgage and we zeroed out everything else just to keep it really simple. There's no PMI. I'm not talking about PMI. I'm not talking about HOA fees. I'm not talking about anything else that could potentially go into your mortgage, your home insurance, nothing. I'm just talking about the mortgage itself. $200,000 mortgage, today's rates around 3% average. We ran 3.0 for a 30-year conventional loan, and it pumped out a payment of about $850 a month. And the lifetime of that loan, which you're gonna pay in finance charges on top of your $200,000 actual house payment, you're gonna pay, I'm drawing a blank here, Zach, give me the number if you would.
you're going to pay $100,000.
Okay, you're going to pay $100,000 in finance charges on top of your $200,000 loan. Okay. Now let's go to a 4% loan, 1% change on a $200,000 loan, no other fees or anything. Your payment's going to jump up about $150 a month, and then your finance charges, your interest charges, are going to jump up $40,000 over the course of that 30-year loan. So hopefully that kind of ties, that number might have hit you a little bit. The NHB is saying for a 1,500 square foot home, your costs are up about $18,000 right now. But a 1% drop in interest rates, 1% in a 30-year loan is going to cost you an extra $40,000. Okay? So although we have pandemic panic, longer lead times, we also have a housing shortage. People are willing to wait a little bit longer because they've got no place else to go. And although we've got these material price increases because there's a lack of supply and an incredible demand on the market right now, and people are being asked to pay an extra $18,000 compared to what they were in May of this year or in January of this year, they're also looking at their interest rates and going, I can save $40,000 compared to January of 2019. So it's a big difference. And Zach and I actually took the time as well to look back, and we've got a lot of market for people who are looking at retirement, for boomer generation, and people who are looking at their final home. You know, we're a custom home builder, so that's typically kind of a luxury item for a lot of people, and a lot of people do that for their last home, especially, like I said, in rural markets. So we've got a good market for that. And you know, the boomer generation remembers interest rates that were 16, 18%. So we ran that $200,000 number, no other fees, and the finance charges on that $200,000 were $900,000 in 30 years. Okay? Major difference. So you got a housing shortage, and although your material costs are up $18,000, $20,000, your interest rates are so low and your need for quality housing is so low that now we're forecasting this demand to stay robust for a while. So a lot of my customers, a lot of my builders are asking us, when will we get back to normal? And I would say, given the factors that are laid out in front of us, are we living in the new normal right now? Now, what are we doing that makes it so that you should watch this video and say, I want to buy Rochester homes? Well, we're a bigger production style builder, although we'll customize your home for you, unlike a lot of production style builders. We are still a production style builder. We build a lot of homes. And so we're able to negotiate locked in prices. So hopefully our price increases are not what maybe a site builder who's just reacting to you know, your local lumber store's prices are. So we're able to negotiate price locks at times. We're also able to buy bigger quantities because here I sit in a dry warehouse. There's no rain that's going to hit me. There's a 15-mile-per-hour wind outside right now blowing OSB sheets around on a job site. Nothing's moving behind me, right? So I've got storage facilities. I've got the ability to buy bigger quantities of things. So when the material becomes available, I'm able to say, gimme first, and I'm able to get the material in. So although we are seeing longer lead times, we don't forecast. I'm going to bite my tongue while I say this because nobody forecasted anything about 2020 and anything could happen here, but we don't forecast a total shutdown because of materials yet. It could happen, don't get me wrong. I'm going to say anything could happen after this year, but we have the ability to buy better. We have the ability to buy more consistently, and therefore our suppliers respect that relationship and they're going to supply us with material first. That's one of the beauties that modular construction brings to the table that a lot of site builders cannot compete with. And I say a lot, and I'm not talking about the big production style builders who are building neighborhoods and subdivisions on their own, because they have that same ability, sure. You know, they may still have storage issues with job site materials, but I'm sure they can overcome a lot of that stuff. So I'm not saying every nationwide builder in in the construction market doesn't have the ability to do what we do, but for someone who's building custom homes on your lot, we're going to have that unique capability to forecast, protect your pricing once you sign on the dotted line, to a degree, obviously, and then make sure that we get materials so that we don't get slowed down. So there's my quick recap for today. A lot of people are asking the question. I just wanted to take the time to talk a little bit about it in a video. If you have further questions, please post them to us. You can email us at info@rochesterhomesinc.com. We're available on all the social media channels, obviously, as well. Love to answer more questions about it. And more importantly, if you're at home and you're not able to get out because of the pandemic, please jump on our website, rochesterhomesinc.com, and we've got some really neat tools that will allow you to jump into virtual tours of our homes. We've got incredible photography. We just launched some photography we took much earlier this year that just got polished up and finished. We want you to see all that new content. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We're gonna keep coming at you with our newest content because we're gonna come and keep building homes this year, and we're not gonna let this pandemic set us off for any reason. So hopefully this was helpful to you today. Thanks for joining in, and stay tuned for more. Thanks.